Welcome and thank you for attending this webinar on what's new in MineScape 5.11 and Roadmap webinar. The agenda for today will include MineScape 5.11 objectives, new GDB fixed length compositing, new MineScape 3D Geostatistics Solution, the new plot designer updates, some additional enhancements we've included, the Quake updates we've added in. We'll talk a bit about MineScape quality, and at the end we'll talk about the MineScape roadmap looking forward. There were several objectives for MineScape here, shown here. We wanted to grow our market share in new mining segments that we're not typically working in. So we've added GDB fixed length compositing and 3D geostatistics. We wanted to improve our user experience, so we've added some plot designer enhancements, some functional enhancements, and we've also added in some customer funded development. And we also want to improve the quality with each release, so we've added some automated testings and we've fixed some of your internal and external defects. The contents of 5.11 are prioritized defects and automated testing, GDB fixed length compositing, 3D Geostatistics Solution, plot designer updates. We've been working on a new comms engine for our next major release, but this will not be released in the 5.11. We now support .NET 4.6. We've done some customer funded development and updated our compilers. So let's take a look at fixed length compositing. This is a new GDB compositing menu item called fixed length. It is required for performing geostatistic work, and essentially irregular length assay samples are composited into defined fixed lengths as a result of this process. So you'd specify a GDB sample table, specify boundaries for domaining, and these could be wireframes or intervals defined in either Stratmodel or MineScape, or benches. You provide fixed length that you want in current project units, start, position, direction, and action, select holes, and provide an output table file name. So here's a demonstration. So under compositing fixed length in the GDB plugin, you'll get the fixed length compositing form. Here you select your assay table. You select what assays you would like to include in your fixed length compositing. It could be one or more. You will enter in a fixed length that you wish to use in your compositing, a threshold length to determine residual, where to start, collar, toe, or alternating in your fixed length compositing, what direction, along the hole or vertical, and what action to take. Do you want to merge the residual or just simply discard it? On the output, you'll enter in your output table file name that you want your fixed length composites to go to, a report file, which will give you information on what the fixed length compositing statistics are, and also an error file. So if you have issues or problems, you'll go to a file for you to review later on. You can select the holes you wish to composite, and that's either through a template or ASCII file or patterns. On the boundaries, you can select a triangle file for wireframes. You can choose benches. You can select Stratmodel interval names as something to domain with, or basically MineScape intervals. So selecting OK to this, and your assay information will be composited in a fixed length fashion to a separate GDB table. Next is 3D Geostatistics Solution, and this is what we've provided to enable geostatistical work to be done through MineScape. And what we've provided here is a new isotease exchange feature within the MineScape Geostatistics plugin. So this enables you to export your assay data or fixed length compositing data to a geovariances lines file. It also allows you to export your MineScape block model to a ICETES 3D model. So as a demonstration, I have MineScape Geostatistics plugin available. I have under Geostatistics and ICETES Data Exchange a simple form here. You can run on a local server, or if you have ICETES loaded on a remote server, you can choose either one. Enter in the path, the study, the folder, the file that you want your information to go out to, and these will be in ICETES format. You can choose a table file you want that contains your assay information, an easting, a northing, top elevation, bottom elevation, hole ID, just mapping that, and say OK. MineScape will then export that into the folder you specified, and there are the ICETES file database files. You can also export your block model table to ICETES. So that's very simple. Just say block model and which block model you want to export, and that will go out also to your ICETES folders. Plot Designer updates. We made some significant updates to Plot Designer in 5.11. We've basically added in 19 Plot Designer enhancements that are listed here, but we'll go over those here in just a moment. Plot Designer units for viewport and plot sizes is a new unit category for MineScape. That's Plot Designer unit, and you can choose either centimeters or inches. Plot Designer updates or setup preferences are also enhanced and added to. You now have grid options and plotting options additional to what we had before, and I'll show you those here in just a moment. So in MineScape Plot Designer, again, we have new Plot Designer preferences. So we have a grid alignment preference, which enables you to have a grid located on the page for you to snap to, and these would be user-defined intervals for that grid. It would be 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, what have you. Rulers will toggle on and off, so there's rulers can be shown around the plot, and the cursor tracker is shown here in plotter units, and when you exactly get across an even number there, you will turn blue, so you know exactly where you're at just by moving the cursor around. When also creating new viewports, you can snap to those the toggle grid that was turned on, and those are at various at your designated interval. The viewport size is dynamically being updated as you build the plot viewport. You can also create viewports of a specific size. If you know exactly what size viewports you want, you can simply enter that in plotter units, and you can set the position, whether that be at wherever you wish to have that on the page. So here's 2 centimeters over in the X, 3 centimeters up in the Y, and we give you a little preview of what that viewport looks like before you say OK. These viewports then can be resized, and you can be snapping to those grid nodes as you are resizing. Okay. You can also move existing viewports by grabbing hold of it and moving it down. You can position that viewport. You can snap the handles to other handles of other viewports as well. So it gives you good control over where you place your viewports. If you have an existing viewport and you want to resize it to a specific width and height, you can do so as well. Right mouse button, resize viewport, enter in the width and height, and your viewport will be resized to those dimensions. Also in the viewport properties, we've added in size and layout tab, which will give you instantly the width, the height, and the position of any viewport you have selected. New settings are now available under the Preferences area, and I'll cover those right now. You can change the grid style that's being shown out there. You can use lines, you can use any of the other styles to choose from. You can also choose a different grid color. The background color for a plot designer can be whatever color you like of the color palette. The background color does not translate though to the paper. It will still come out white, but just from a visual perspective and how you might wish to work in Plot Designer, you can change that background color. Now we're going to cover some small enhancements we've added to MineScape. First here is the Stratmodel Compositing Generate Surfaces. This was a feature requested by one of our customers to enable more control over quality surface generation, and the default will be to generate surfaces, which is the current behavior. So just to give you a demonstration of that, here under Stratmodel Quality Composite Drill Hole, you get the drill hole compositing form appear. You place all your controls in here, and then on the control tab we've added generate surfaces. Now generate surfaces will be checked by default because that's the current behavior, but you can uncheck that. So here I unchecked generate surfaces. It does do the compositing, so it does the composite and creates the output composite table. However, there are no surfaces generated, so you don't overwrite the surfaces that you may have in there for compositing. And here again, if I go to the controls tab and select generate surfaces and then say OK, the composite will occur. You get the composited table file generated, and you will have your composite surfaces. Another small enhancement is one to the neighbors function in MineScape Stratmodel. So we have a new control, nearest neighbor, and that you can select, and the result lists all nominated holes, and for each hole listed there is only one closest neighbor, and with the corresponding distance, so you don't get a search radius or multiple holes within a search radius. Search radius option is still available. However, if you do select nearest neighbor, the search radius option will be grayed out. Search radius option is set to the default because that is the previous behavior. So let me give you a demonstration of that. So under Stratmodel, drill holes, information, neighbors, we have the nearest neighbor form comes up. You select the design file, search layers, or if you are using GDB, you can choose the whole name template. Output your report file name. Just type in nearest neighbor as a report file. We can overwrite or not overwrite an existing report, and if I get nearest neighbor, the search radius is grayed out. You have the same options as you had before and otherwise, and if we look at this report, you will see that we have the drill hole name, the nearest hole to it, what name that is, and the distance, and that's all that has. And then at the bottom you have some general statistics of what occurred. Another small enhancement is Open Cut, Cut Fill addition. You'll find this under the Open Cut Sections menu item. And this function will create cut and fill area polygons through an intersecting profile line. The red cut polygons, and there's green fill polygons, and the centroid annotation with area in square feet is drawn in CAD. The centroids are optional. You can choose to do that or not do that. So here's an example. Here in the Open Cut product, we got some section lines of Final high wall, we want to maybe reclaim that to a specific area or specific configuration. We want to keep track of how much area is in each of these cut and fill areas, and also we might wish to mark up the centroid of that so we can get an idea of the length for average length for dozer push or what have you. So here we can select each of these polygons, and it will put a dot marker right at the centroid of that polygon. The area of each of those polygons is also annotated. This was contour or centroid annotation. And here, if we look in here, the red polygons are cut, green polygons are fill, and there are the areas annotated and also the centroid marked as a dot marker. In 5.11, we've also increased or added to the Quake functions. This was a customer-funded development work that we've done, and we've added to it. It's now available only in Stratmodel and block model plugins because that's where it makes the most sense to be accessing this. We've updated the menu structure. We've created and maintained a Quake visual display now. You expand the Quake object definition. We've created a Quake objects and spheres will happen in one step. A new enhanced Quake import function to allow for more attributes to the Quakes, and new Quake sphere visualization functions. I'll cover those here in just a moment. The following options have been added: a set display, set visual, some spherical visualization commands or functions, and the following options: edit, view, color by, and triangle model have been removed, but those functions have been replaced by the new functions added in. So let me give you a bit of a demonstration here. Here we have Stratmodel or block model open. We have the access the Quake functions. We can have a Quake display, name, marker display, what sphere default color we'd like to have. This is the color by. Quake color by menu is now on this tab. You can get that, access that from there. And then you can provide annotations through an annotation MXL string. So you have options here of Quake descriptions or energy or magnitude. You can use those for your Quake annotation. So here we will set a visual display, and these are a display that you can create from a visualization perspective, and then create. And here we can create a new object. Here we'll just pick some point out in CAD. You can put this on a particular surface if you like. We can have a description. I'm going to make two different descriptions here, change the magnitude a little bit and the energy. You can enter that stuff in, enter the time when the quake occurred. I'm going to pick another spot here for the second quake. And you'll see here that the quakes are of two different colors. That's because of my color by specification. And you'll see the annotation is the description, which is also what I had in my display specification. We can also, the spheres are created when the markers are created, quake markers are created, so we can simply turn those on or off altogether. You can have hidden, or they can be displayed individually. So you can hide or display them all or pick and choose. And next I want to talk to you about MineScape quality. So just a little background on MineScape 5.11 defects that we've tackled. We've tackled 78 defects that are fixed in this version. 47% of those are in MineScape core bug fixes, and then followed by GDB, Plot Designer, Stratmodel. Those are all roughly about the same amount of defects fixed. And then OpenCut, Block Model, some installation and licensing things, and so on down the line. Out of those 78 defects, about 39 of those are customer reported defects and 39 are internal reported defects. And of those defects, we had 14% of those were major identified as priority major, 74% minor, and 4% low, or 12% low. Each version of MineScape before we release it is tested for function. And here we have, for MineScape 5.11, we have done a total of 11,378 tests. 99.87% of those are passing, and 0.03% have not passed. That's 3 tests that didn't pass, but these tests are very minor, low level, and they haven't been passing for quite some time. We'll get to them. So out of that, the performance tests, we've done 100 of those. Unit tests or automated testing, and then we do automated testing, which is interface automated testing. We're up to over 3,000 of those automated tests, which helps us to release software sooner if we can test them quicker through an automated process. We did 910 regression tests. These are manual tests that the team will do. 697 smoke tests, which are initial tests done after each build to just try to get an idea of how we're doing pretty well with the fixes, and nothing major has happened during the previous build. Integration testing, we do integrating with MineMarket now, so we have some MineMarket integration tests. And exploratory testing are just some tests that we do just to basically poke around and just do the things that we believe our customers are using in the software. So a good result on the testing, basically over 99% pass rate on that. Our active customer defects, we have 134 minor defects reported by our customers outstanding, and 114 low defects yet outstanding. So we are fixing these bugs, and there are some coming in while we're fixing them, so these do fluctuate. On the performance tests, we did over, like I mentioned, we did over 100 performance tests. These tests were performed locally and in a networked environment. And what we can say is overall, MineScape 5.11 exhibits increased performance from 5.10 in 88 test case scenarios. And the other 12 tests, they were very similar to 5.10. No degradation in performance that we could identify. Significant performance improvements have been made in the following areas, such as Stratmodel contouring has seen an exceptional increase in performance. Starting MineScape, importing GDB databases, and a MineScape installations all have appeared to show significant improvement in performance over the previous version. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the MineScape roadmap. First, we'll go over the disclaimer. The information contained in this next section is subject to change without notice, should not be construed as a commitment by ABB, and the information contained herein is for informational purposes only, not part of any contract. Basically intended to give you an outline of our general product direction, should not be relied upon in making any purchase decisions, and is not a commitment, promise, or legal obligation to deliver any material. ABB Enterprise Software products are committing to provide 2 software releases per year starting in 2016. MineScape delivered 2 versions in 2015 with MineScape 5.9 and 5.10. The criteria for releases would be no known P1 or P2 defects and a 95% pass rating in all quality testing that we do. As a legend about what I'm going to show you next, blue boxes with white lettering is a delivered feature for that release. The white box with blue lettering is things we're working on but not delivering in this particular version. Green investigative spike, rose a dependency on a third party, orange saleable features delivered, and the gray is an internal feature. So for 5.12, this is our upcoming release for the second half of 2016. 5.12 will be a smaller release. We'll be looking at focusing on about 36 prioritized defects in our system. We will also increase our automated tests as well over the next second half of the year. We will be working on Windows 10 support and potentially some customer-funded development for FOSS-Agro. We are also working on a new graphics engine and updating our backend servers, but this work is for MineScape 6.0 delivery, not for 5.12. But this is something we'll be working on during this period as well. For MineScape 6, we are looking to provide again prioritized defects and continue with our automated testing, increasing the number of automated tests we have. We're also looking to provide a plot designer update, and this would be a new engine to generate PDF files out of plot designer. New graphics engine. This will be a third-party engine to enable us to show and more data than we have before, and also provide some more eye candy and using a third-party engine rather than building it ourselves. We are also refactoring the back end to increase our size of data we can handle and also increase our performance. We are adding a new Boolean solution, and this is to address some issues we have with triangulated solids. Some of our customers have been needing for some time. This is also good for solids as well, MineScape solids. We're also looking to add a MineScape start page. This would be a way for us to communicate directly with you as a user by providing you various information directly through the MineScape software. So if we have events coming up, or if there's a new version coming on, we can get that information to you directly. So that is a new exciting thing that we're looking to put into MineScape 6. A continuous delivery feature, which enables us to provide you defect fixes at a faster pace than we've been able to before, and a way to get that to you. So essentially we could potentially deliver updates to software as quickly as we develop those in our 2-week sprints. So potentially every 2 weeks we could potentially deliver a fix, just depending on the severity and priority, etc. But we can get those updated to you quicker than we have before, rather than waiting until the next release comes out. And then some UI UX enhancements. These would be enhancements to improve your experience with MineScape software. And again, we're looking at feedback we've received from you from our NPS surveys to make these improvements. Thank you for attending this webinar, and thank you for continued loyalty to the MineScape software, and have a great day.